What's going on, everybody? Thanks for watching and welcome to another video. When I had the chance to review this car, I definitely jumped at it. This is a Mercedes Benz 560 SL that has been modified. The driveline's been modified, the engine, suspension, etc. But most importantly, this car has a 6-speed manual conversion. I know I've done a couple of these SLs on the channel, so it's kind of covering some of the territory that I've covered previously, but none of them had manuals. They were all automatics. Manual SLs in the US are very rare. They're a little more common in Europe. This car was built by Carobu Engineering for a customer in another country. It was shipped here to New Mexico to get modified. And it has basically their Stage 2 tuning package, which is pretty basic. It doesn't have a ton of modifications. It has camshafts for, basically a more entertaining power band and more power. The intake manifold has been modified. They cut it open, redo the inside of it. They don't really give out what they do because it's kind of proprietary. So it has custom headers, a custom exhaust system. That's Carobu's proprietary exhaust system. So it sounds really good. And it has a custom ignition system. So basically the CIS injection is still stock. But basically with all this work that they've done to it, and I'll have an extensive spec list down below the video so you can see exactly what's been done to the engine. But they ended up with about just under 300 horsepower at the crankshaft, so that's not wheel horsepower, that's crankshaft horsepower, so around 300, and then about between 325 and 350 foot-pounds of torque, so definitely an improvement over the original figures, which, the original, like a stock 560 SL with its 5.6 liter V8 put out about 240 horsepower, so it's a pretty good improvement. That's another 60 horsepower. And it shows. I mean, this thing is definitely, it's much quicker, but it's the manual that really makes it, come to life. So the suspension's been lowered and has upgraded bushings all around, upgraded rear bushings on the trailing arms that allow the suspension to be lowered, but it still maintains the proper geometry. It's firmer, but it's not uncomfortable or jarring, but it definitely handles much better than a stock R107 would have. The wheels are upgraded to some AMG monoblock wheels, and that's kind of the very period correct wheel for the car. They look good on the car. They're 17s. To me, the most important or the most significant upgrade is the manual swap. So this is a 6-speed manual that was sourced from a BMW. So I was told that it's from like a late 90s, early 2000s BMW, so I'm assuming that would mean that it's from possibly something like an E46 N3. That's basically a car from that period that would have had a 6-speed manual that's like a BMW. So I'm assuming that it's the same transmission that would have been in that car. In this application, it feels quite a bit different than it does like in a car like a BMW. It feels very mechanical. It's definitely very notchy in a good way. It's got a short throw. It's definitely feels surprisingly vintage for such a a modern gearbox. The clutch action is nice. It's easy to drive. It's got a narrow clutch action, but it's not really an impediment to to the driving the car. It's just you kind of got to get used to it. It's a little bit of an on-off switch, but it's fine once you get used to it. It's a pretty heavy clutch feel, but not too bad. But the manual conversion really does transform this car, especially when you combine it, in this case, with a louder exhaust or a better sounding exhaust and more power. It really transforms the car into much more of a driver's car, and it's just that much more engaging. And the power delivery of this engine is really nice. It's still got that, an SL, a 560 SL has kind of a lazy character to it. It's the kind of car you can just put in drive if it's an automatic and just cruise along. It just wafts along the highway. It's very comfortable, relatively quiet, but you kind of have this constant reserve of V8 power. It's not like a rocket, but it's definitely very quick and sounds great. I mean, just listen to that. And now you can just do this. Don't miss a gear though. So yeah, there it is, the 6-speed manual swapped 560 SL from Carobu, 300 horsepower and a 6-speed. Really makes it engaging to drive. All right, you guys, well, that was a quick video. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you later.